jullie nu een verhaal vertellen over een paar bekende collega's van mij. Die hebben muziek gemaakt in een stad genaamd Bremen. En het verhaal, dat gaat zo. Op de Lüneburger Heide, niet zo ver van Bremen vandaan, stond er een wonderschone oude molen.
Two men were cleaning off Gordon after he'd had an accident in the ditch near the sheds. Mind my eyes, said Gordon. Later, the Fat Controller came to see him. No more coaches for you, Gordon, he said, until you can be a really useful engine again. Gordon was banished to shunt trucks in the yard. That's for you, and you, and you. Later, Gordon went to speak to James about his job. Be careful on my hill, James, said Gordon. I nearly had an accident with the trucks there once. You might need help. I don't need help from you, said James. Gordon just laughed and went to get his next train. James went to go fetch his coaches. Near Gordon's hill, leaves had spread across the line, making it slippery for any engines puffing through. James didn't know this until it was too late. Once he had got midway through the hill, he started slipping profusely. The driver tried shutting off the brakes, but James couldn't stop, for the leaves were pulling him back with the coaches. James didn't stop moving until he reached the bottom of the hill. So, said Gordon, looks like you need my help now. All right, yes, help me, said James, annoyed. Will do, said Gordon, and the two engines puffed up the hill. At last, James reached the top. Thanks, Gordon, said James. Any time, little James, said Gordon. And once James was off in the distance, Gordon went back to the yard to shunt more trucks.
Tom was basically the only engine at that steam team that I did like. He ruined my breakfast.
What?
No, it's my breakfast I was worried about. It was perfect. Nice scrambled eggs, steamy, juicy bacon. I wish Towns had just left him in the snow.
Autumn had come to the island of Sodor. The leaves were falling, the trees were shedding, and a small little orange tractor plowed through the field. One day, Thomas and his coaches saw this tractor while pulling on his line. Hello, said the tractor. I'm Terence. Hello, said Thomas. I'm Thomas. What ugly wheels you've got. They're not ugly, said Terence. They're my caterpillars. I'm able to make tracks among the ground so I can go anywhere I'd like. I don't need rails to move around. Well, I like my rails, said Thomas, and he rudely puffed away. From time to time, Thomas would see Terence once in a while, and while he would whistle to Terence, Terence would never respond back. Winter soon came, and Thomas's driver was not happy. I don't like this, he'd say. Snow will get worse. But Thomas just thought, snow is silly soft stuff. It can't hurt me. When they arrived at the next station, Thomas saw a snowplow. Don't tell me, said Thomas. I'm afraid so, said his driver. You'll have to wear your snowplow for the next journey. Thomas hated his snowplow. He shook it and banged it, and by the end of the afternoon, it was so banged up, Thomas couldn't fit it on. You're a very naughty engine, said his driver. Soon, Thomas had to leave without his snowplow, "Be careful, Thomas," said his driver. "It will get deep in the valley." As Thomas puffed down his line, he just thought, "Snow is silly soft stuff. It can't hurt me." He rounded the bend and entered the tunnel, but there was trouble ahead. "Cinders and ashes," thought Thomas. "I'm stuck." And he was. "Pull out," said his driver. Thomas tried to move, but the snow refused to let him go. His crew tried digging away the snow, but there was too much. A bus had to take his passengers away, and poor Thomas was left cold in the snow. But who to come and save him but Terence? "I'm very sorry I was rude to you," said Thomas. "That's all right," said Terence. "Let's be friends." "All right," said Thomas, and Thomas, with his 2 coaches, puffed away with a brand new friend.
Oh, what are you doing? Over the bathroom. More than a story. The story. Best poopy story. The poopy story.
And every year on the date of the accident, it runs again, plunging into the gap, shrieking like a lost soul. Percy, what are you talking about? The ghost train. Driver saw it last night. Where? Asked Thomas and Toby together. He didn't say, but it must have been on our line. He says ghost trains run as a warning to others. Oh, he went on, it makes my wheels wobble to think of it. Oh, said Thomas, you're just a silly little engine, Percy. I'm not scared. Thomas didn't believe in your ghost, said Percy next morning. His driver laughed. Neither do I. It was a pretend ghost on television. Percy was disappointed, but he was too busy all day with his stone trucks to think about ghosts. That evening he came back, light engine, from the harbour. He liked running at night. He coasted along without effort, the rails humming cheerfully under his wheels, and signal lights changing to green at his approach. He always knew just where he was, even in the dark. Crow's Farm Crossing, he chunted happily. We shan't be long now. Sam had forgotten that Mr. Crow wanted a load of lime taken to 40-acre field. When he remembered, it was nearly dark. He drove in a hurry, bumped over the crossing, and sank his cart's front wheels in mud at the field gate. The horse tried hard, but couldn't move it. Sam gave it up. He unharnessed the horse and rode back to the farm for help. There's still time, he told himself. The next train isn't due for an hour, but he'd reckoned without Percy. Percy broke the cart to smithereens, and lime flew everywhere. They found no one at the crossing, so went on to the nearest signal box. On their way, they met Toby. "Hello," said the signalman. "What have you done to Percy? He's white all over." Percy's driver explained. "I'll see to it," said the signalman. "But you'd better clean Percy, or people will think he's a ghost." Percy chuckled. "Do let's pretend I'm a ghost and scare Thomas. That'll teach him to say I'm a silly little engine." Thomas was being oiled up for his evening train when Toby hurried in saying, "Percy's had an accident." "Poor engine," said Thomas. "Botheration. That means I'll be late." "They've cleared the line for you," Toby went on. "But there's something worse." "Out with it, Toby," Thomas interrupted. "I can't wait all evening." "I've just seen something," said Toby in a shaky voice. "It looked like Percy's ghost. It said It was coming here to warn us. Pooh, who cares? Don't be frightened, Toby. I'll take care of you. No, answered Toby. Not by the smoke of my chimney, chim. I'll chuff and I'll puff and I'll break your door in. Oh dear, exclaimed Thomas. It's getting late. I'd no idea. I must find Annie and Clarabelle. He hurried out the other way. Next morning, Toby asked him where he'd been. Oh, well, said Thomas, I knew you'd be sad about Percy, and I didn't like to intrude. I slept in a good shed, and, he went on hurriedly. Sorry, I can't stop. I got to see a coach about a train. And he shot off like a jackrabbit. Percy rolled up alongside. Well, he exclaimed. What do you know about that? Anyone would think, chuckled Toby, that our Thomas had just seen a ghost.